Hello friends, my name is Kendall Grady and I'm a violinist currently on staff with the Frost School of Music Preparatory Strings Department at the University of Miami, as well as a member of the 2020 Global Leaders Program cohort. Today I'd like to speak to you a little bit about holistic pedagogy and how it might apply to your own music making, at least in my case on the violin. In holistic education, each part is vital, but also interplays with one another to create a much greater whole. In other words, one must delve into each concept deeply, but then discover the many ways that they relate to and inform another. So, for example, my practice starts even as I approach the instrument, and I try to approach it with humility and open curiosity. So, beginning cleaning with a very soft cloth, tuning slowly with full bows, and after my warm-up, even some light stretching. I'll warm up with scales and double stops, especially in whatever key of the piece that I'm working on that day is. And those I use as a type of meditation to develop a positive relationship with the instrument and myself, as well as develop a sensitive and discerning ear. So I start with full even bows, focusing on continuing the sound through the bow stroke, and then adding in more notes per bow, focusing on dividing the bow evenly. So I'll give you an example. Even divide the bow in two. And etc. I think it's important to note that any kinds of repetition we do should be done knowing why we are repeating something, and by adding more and more ease into our playing so that the technique becomes a skill for musical expression rather than an end in itself. In fact, practicing and performing, I think, can and should be considered through a holistic lens. During practice, I'll understand the form first and then isolate a section that's causing me some difficulty. And within that section, I try to identify the right and left hand technique, as well as pair that with musicality so that I'm working on the right and left parts of my brain. So for example, I'll work with the first theme of the Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto. And in order to isolate some possible left-hand challenges, I might work with just intonation or shifting out of rhythmic context. Or I might isolate right-hand challenges with string crossings and bow distribution. So here's what that might look like. Finally, after cleaning up some of those technical components, I might try to focus on the musicality and phrasing in that section within the context of the larger piece of art, like so. And you know how it goes. Now, when preparing for performance, I think it's often overlooked but equally important to take into account our emotional experiences, especially at the start of memorizing. Memorizing is a separate skill, just like sight reading, and can be done in small chunks depending on what you hear, see, and physically feel. That way, in performance, there are many things guiding and supporting you. Also, I think it's equally important to honor our emotional experiences while playing. So leading up to a performance, I'll often practice how I want to feel and think so that I enjoy and I'm not afraid of my experiences. So I'll visualize the hall, my friends' faces, or I'll practice closing my eyes and playing. I'll try to feel the fabric of my clothing, or the air and the violin on my skin, including preparing for sweat, and even feeling the ground beneath my feet. So I'll practice breathing deeply, feeling supported from the earth, and even specific thoughts that I want to think about at specific areas in the music that can propel me forward positively, and planning all that out. The goal of our performance and teaching others is the meaningful and personal connections that we can have and make with our music, so that we are developing our own values and instilling healthy values in our peers and our student artists. Although the idea of holistic education was introduced relatively recently in the 1980s and is often related to public and private education systems, I think that the larger holistic concept has been around since ancient times, and in my experience really grounds my performance and practice and my approach to the work that I do. So I hope that some of these concepts about holism have inspired you to learn more and encourage you in your pursuit of music. And I continue to support and hope that you keep your hearts light and your chops up. So thank you very much. Bye-bye for now.